Welcome back to another episode of Rounds. Today we're going to talk about Mamma Mia. Here we go again. This story is set 5 years after the events of the first film, with Sophie planning a grand reopening of her mother's hotel. Sam is there, but her other two fathers have work obligations and are unable to come. She's stressed from planning the opening and how turbulent her marriage has become with Sky, who is in New York. She wants this huge party to celebrate her mother's life, who passed away a year ago. The rest of this story centers around young Donna graduating from Oxford University, where Tanya and Rosie perform a musical number to celebrate. Donna decides to travel through Europe, where she meets Harry, Bill, and Sam. Usual suspects, of course. It also tells how she came to the island of Kalahari, where she falls in love with Sam, who in turn breaks her heart, because he's a slut. Eventually, Tanya and Rosie show up to help Sophie, but the threat of a big storm coming, everything seems to be in jeopardy with the party. Bill and Harry suddenly have a change of heart and realize they need to be there for their daughter. A bunch of rich, bougie people end up not going because of the storm, because they're pussies. Of course, there's only one boat that goes to the island that they miss before running into a man that Bill and Donna helped earlier in their lives to get to the woman he loved. They load up all the local fishermen and their families and head to the island for one big fucking song fest. Headlined by none other than Sophie's absentee grandmother, fucking Cher. So this film stars Lily James, Amanda Seyfried, Pierce Brosnan, Christine Baranski, Julie Walters as Rosie, Colin Firth, Skarsgård. You gotta say it like a pirate, I think. This film directed by Al Parker. Oliver. Well, that's what he has written down. Let's start with the good of this movie.
Do we want to build it up and then tear it down?
Let's build it up and tear it down. I thought Tanya and Rosie, both young and old, and I enjoyed the performance of young Bill by Josh Dillon, Jeremy Irvine as young Sam. I thought they did really well in these roles. Yeah. Also enjoyed the Greek customs agent.
It's the guy from The Mummy that got the scarab stuck in his skin.
Oh, that is who that is. I thought the costumes and set design looked really good in this.
They weren't over the top. They weren't under the bottom.
I felt like I was in Greece. Never been. We debated between this and The Equalizer 2. Standard for us guys to go see an action movie. So we said we're going to switch it up. We're going to go see Mamma Mia 2. So as a man, as an alpha male, which I'm not, let your guard down and allow yourself to be entertained and enjoy this kind of movie because it is a musical. I laughed out loud quite a few times.
There were some really funny scenes. I liked the dynamic between the present day and the past, especially during the song, Sophie and her mom both singing. I don't know if I liked how much flashback it was, though. It's like, why not put that stuff in the first film?
Let's talk about the bad. Boom, boom, boom. I thought that this movie, in spurts, dragged a lot.
But didn't rush.
It was not J.K. Simmons' tempo. And also, so Meryl Streep, who's definitely not coming back for the fucking sequel, and that's why they wrote this movie. I thought that they could have done something different, again, to your point, as far as it being an entire flashback movie. Prequel inside of a sequel. Yeah. Not that that's the whole film. Amanda Seyfried, for me, she was like so bubbly in the first one, and this one, because she's going through her ups and downs, it's kind of like when you go see a musical and it's like one of those John Travolta on the swing Grease numbers, just give me the fast up-tempo shit, please. It didn't move me in that way, even though Meryl Streep was dead.
They didn't give any kind of explanation about that. Like, how did she die?
Well, clearly it wasn't in the budget.
Clearly they couldn't have a flashback from just a year ago while they were having flashbacks from, 30 years ago?
Yeah. I thought that because Donna was sort of such an upbeat person that this would have been more of a celebration of her life.
Yeah.
And that might have been the avenue that they should have gone down. My final thoughts. This one didn't look as green screeny as the first one. And it kind of had that feel of a 1970s movie. That foreign James Bond kind of feel. Ironic. Oh. I went Sean Connery, but I mean, hell, GoldenEye sitting right there. I can't dance. I'm white, I'm a dad, I'm fat, I can't dance. The choreography in this film, there's this scene where they're crowd surfing. The people in the crowd are turning the three girls above them, and the shot is overhead. And to me, and they turn them at almost exactly the same time. It's pretty in sync, and I'm like, color me impressed.
It was like clockwork.
To me, this movie's not even as close to as fun as the first one. And Sky and Sophie, listen, I'm all for love. But I'm kind of rooting for that relationship to end. And it's not because I secretly have a crush on Amanda Seyfried.
Mine's not that secret.
And then she's pregnant in the end and has a baby.
Just like her mother.
Yeah.
She was in her mother's shoes.
Speaking of ends, how many fucking ends did this movie want to have? They bring Cher in, who they spoiled in the commercial. She's pregnant. Okay. And then she's getting baptized so she can meet up with fucking Meryl Streep and they can do a musical number together. Enough to be said is that I enjoyed the movie.
I did really actually enjoy the movie. I mean, for a musical, if you want to compare musicals, it's not Grease. I mean...
We're going with Grease as the top musical? Let that be heard?
No.
What's your favorite musical? Dare I ask?
I don't really know.
I love Grease, but my favorite musical is South Park.
I like Grease. I like West Side Story. But, I mean, I also did like, Dirty Dancing...
That's not a musical.
High School Musical.
We have to wrap it up.
I'd probably score it about a 7-1.
And for me, it was a 7-4. But go check it out. Mamma mia!
Here we go again.
If you guys like this video, hit that like, hit the subscribes. We'll check you out next time. Only on Rounds! This film directed by Oliver Parker, who's married to Thandie Newton. Thandie! Oh my god!